May you read this beautiful passage in the Bible. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent one from the other. Such a touching, heartwarming blessing that it's been made into a song, and a lot of people part saying that. Isn't that such a touching phrase we get from the Old Testament? Hold on. Not so fast. Let's talk about this. Hello, I'm Methodist Dave. I'm a professional theologian and Bible teacher. And our follow-up to our last video, Sister Wives, where Jacob has been deceived into marrying the woman he didn't want, then picks up 2 additional wives, his wives' handmaids. So he has a brood of over a dozen children and a very unhappy marital situation. Well, what follows after this mess that Laban pulls on him is that Jacob has worked 7 years to marry Rachel, cheated, gets Leah, agrees to work another 7 years so that he can have Rachel. So he has worked the next 7 years and perhaps a little bit more than that. So 14, 15 years Jacob has been working for Laban, and everything that Jacob has done has been for Laban. Now, Jacob apparently is very good at raising goats and sheep and livestock. And Laban's flocks, which were mediocre at best, have grown to very prosperous. And Jacob says, hey, I'd like to get paid now. I've been working, and now, you've had a little bit of sheep. Now you got a lot of sheep. I'd like to get paid. I've paid for my wives. Now I want to settle my earning, my income. Tell you what I'm going to do. Let's go through the flocks, and if there are any sheep or goats that are speckled or striped or spotted, I'll take them. Those will be mine. You can have everything that's solid colored. And Laban says, yeah, it sounds like a good idea to me. So Jacob goes to take care of another herd of flocks for Laban, and Laban and his sons go out into the flock, and they go through the field, and they pick out all the spotted, speckled, striped sheep. They take them out of the flock, and they take them 3 days' journey away, so that when Jacob goes to go through the flocks looking for the speckled, striped, and spotted sheep and goats, there are none. Again, Laban cheats Jacob. Apparently, this happens a couple times. On one occasion, I'll take the spotted ones, so Laban takes the spotted ones. I'll take the striped ones. Laban takes the striped ones. He keeps cheating Jacob every chance he gets. So Jacob comes up with an idea where he sets up these walls, and he makes these walls. He takes little branches and he peels the bark selectively so that these are like a textured wall here. So it's like spotted, striped wall. And he sets these up in front of the animals, and that they will mate in front of that. And his idea being that, if the animals see a modeled background, then their offspring will be modeled to be able to blend into the background. This is kind of like biological engineering. In theory, sounds like a great idea. That's not how biology works. The background, the wallpaper of the motel room does not mean that that's going to affect the color of the lambs and sheep. However, God likes Jacob. So if Jacob is allowed to keep spotted lambs, then everything delivers spotted lambs. If Jacob's allowed to keep striped lambs, then all the lambs are striped. But what we find very interesting in the passage, and I'm going to take you chapter 30, verse 41, this is far more telling than anything else, is that Jacob is breeding the strongest stock. And the weaker stock, he's not even attempting to breed them. So he's selectively breeding the healthier stock. And this is what it happens with cattle all the time. The best stock is bred. And God blesses Jacob's flocks. It's no matter what Jacob does. And Laban's trying to cheat him. Jacob's trying to cheat Laban too. But no matter what, God blesses Jacob, and his flocks grow and grow and grow. And it gets to the point where Jacob's flocks are now bigger than Laban's flocks. And Jacob has been doing a great job with Laban's flocks, but he's very jealous. And his sons have the attitude that Jacob is stealing from our father. No, he's not stealing. They met a deal. The animals that are speckled and spotted, and Jacob offers to take them because they are less valuable. See, you would shear the goats, and they would use the hair from goats and sheep to make fabric. You would blend it, and certain goats in Turkey were known for their hair. And Paul, the tent maker, would use that black goat hair in making tents. So if you have hair that is like a mixed color, you're going to get like a variegated thread color. And it's not going to give you a pretty pattern. You're not even going to really be able to make a pattern because the color is so weird. So Jacob is offering to take the lesser desired animals. So he can see the writing on the wall. Laban's looking at him funny. His brother-in-laws are looking at him funny. And Jacob's thinking, they're going to bump me off and take my stuff. So he goes to his wives. Jacob goes to Rachel and Leah and says, look, your dad's been cheating me. And the daughters are universal in agreeing, yes, our father has treated us terribly. Remember, he has played these women against each other to get what he wants and to take what he wants. And the wives are ready to go. So while Laban is away shearing his sheep, Jacob packs up all his stuff and runs away. Takes his wives, takes his herds, and leaves. When Laban gets back and finds out, he pursues Jacob with the intent that he's going to come catch him and kill him and take his stuff back, because he's that jealous. See, jealousy can lead you to do all kinds of terrible things. Well, prior to running away, Rachel has gone into Laban's tent and stolen the cherubims, the little idols, the household gods that Laban would pray to. You find these all over the Middle East. These are tiny little statues. They're little miniature gods, and you would set them up in a place in your home, and that is what you would worship. That would be instead of having a giant idol, you'd have a little miniature idol. They were easy to transport if you're a Bedouin, and these are your gods. The head of the household owns and possesses the gods. So Rachel steals these idols and takes them, and because she's taking away her father's power by stealing his gods, she's gaining his power. Let me tell you, if someone can pack up your gods and carry them away, you don't have very good gods. So they have fled. In a dream, God speaks to Laban. Laban, you lay one finger on Jacob and I will kill you and all of your family. Don't you dare touch this man. I'm warning you. Laban's a little scared, but he's still mad. Finally catches up with Jacob. How dare you? And he's all indignant. How dare you? If you'd have told me, I could have thrown a party. No, he wouldn't. He would have found some way to keep Jacob from leaving. He would have taken away the herds. He'd have done something. If Jacob hadn't left when he did, he'd have never left. And he threatens him, and then to make things even worse, you stole my gods. Well, Jacob has no idea about the gods. He doesn't know what Rachel's done. And he says, look, whoever you find, I didn't touch your gods, but look, search the camp. And if you find them, whoever has them, you can kill them. You have my permission to kill them. So Laban goes and he checks everything out. He comes across Rachel, And she's kind of like sitting, and she says, I'm sorry I can't get up, Dad, but it's that time of the month, so I can't get up and touch you. And she just sits there. Well, she's sitting on top of these idols. She's got them tucked underneath her skirts. And Laban's not going to touch her, not going to make her get up because it's that time of the month. So he looks around, can't find the idols. And Jacob says, see, did you find them? No, well then I didn't take them. So he's angry. So they set up a memorial and they make a covenant. And they say to one another, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from the other. Now remember the context that this is going on. Laban is furious, he's angry, and he's in a murderous rage. Jacob is fleeing for his life. And they set up a marker. Essentially, I'm going to stay on this side, you're going to stay on that side. I won't go after you, but don't you dare come back over here. And may God watch over us while we're absent one from the other. Which means God's going to be keeping an eye on you, and you better take care of my daughters. And God's going to make sure that I stay over here. This is not a blessing. It's not a parting of friendship. This is a armistice. This is a demilitarized zone. This is a marker. You stay on your side, and I'll stay on my side. And if either one crosses, we have permission to kill each other. It's not a blessing. It's not a sweet thing to say. That's the real meaning behind that passage. If you've had a question about this or any other subject, drop me an email, methodistdave@gmail.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'll be back very soon with a brand new one. But until then, be good to one another.